Did Karrigan make a mistake in picking up the Polish player Jacob for the new FaZe lineup? That's a question we're going to attempt to answer right here with SkinClub. My name is Anders, and we're going to go through one of the demos that they played. It would be fun to go through all the maps, but we're just going to pick the overpass one. Annoyingly, that demo is split in two, so we'll jump between them a little bit halfway through the video. But I kind of wanted to see by my own eyes. I didn't actually watch the game, so I don't know exactly what we're going to be jumping into here. But let's just take a look. Maybe this was a horrible mistake from FaZe. I was really impressed the first time that I saw Jacob play in the Tier 2 Counter-Strike space, but that doesn't always translate into Tier 1. So let's just jump in and find out exactly what we're dealing with here. Now, I loaded in the demo already, and hopefully we can just kind of get to it. So we're just going to be following Jacob, and basically what I'm going to try and do is just kind of get us pretty close to where some of these deaths are happening, just to get a sense of what is actually going on. And then we'll talk about it a little bit. So, you know, all of this stuff, obviously, super basic, you know, peeking, you know, into the wall, you know, instead of peeking at following the angle. I kind of expect that, I suppose. Be shocked if it wasn't. Could see on the minimap that they are about to engage. He's got a teammate actually not really spotting. Super sad timing. I don't know if I would call that anything but that. He's jiggle peeking it pretty regularly. He peeks back and there's three people there. He dies. Kind of happens. Don't care so much. Just going to speed it up instead of trying to click through because it's just a little bit easier this way. Let's see. Next death is coming up. He only got pistols, so sort of doubt there's going to be much of a, you know, much confusion here apart from, you know, just having a pistol. All right. They do get the kill there. That's pretty good. Checking, kind of getting shot in the back. Again, like, probably not that much to analyze here. Who cares? He dies. But yeah, a couple of early deaths. Kind of sucks when you are, you know, brand new on the team, I suppose. We'll go straight back to Jacob here to see what he has got. So we've got something going on down here. So let's see. All right, Karrigan with the early kill. Peeking into it. Sick timing. That's pretty good. Comes back. Don't hate it. He does swing really wide into this angle, right? I'm going to be nitpicking a lot. I'm going to be honest, because that's kind of what I'm here for. So I will definitely take the opportunity to nitpick as much as I can. He goes back, gets the kill. Now, look at how, like, he steps really far into this. And he knows someone is there. Spray is probably fine, right? But he's just so exposed to whatever is following up. But, okay, I think that's fair to say. Could have probably been better if he would have hugged the wall or kept a closer angle on that one. But fair enough, it happens. And we're going back here. Next death coming up somewhere. We'll see how far along. It's always a little bit deceptive with the timeline down here. Like, I wish it was even more clear. So he's holding this angle. Could see on the minimap that there is a player up there. So presumably that's the only person he really could be fighting at this point in time. Whoever that is, not really going anywhere. FaMAS down here. He's only got this angle to hold, right? There's nothing else that he needs to worry about. Okay, I'm at a quarter speed. That's maybe a little bit too crazy. I want to make sure I don't lose it because... Okay, some of those bullets are getting caught by the railing. I don't know. Yeah, he probably could have had that kill. Probably could have had that kill, but it's not really terrible. FaMAS versus AK at that range, probably hard one to get. We're into the next one. Oh, we got tech pauses coming up. Right, I seem to remember that. Yeah, we'll just go into this one. Whoops, a little bit too far. Let's see. What is the next one that we're dealing with? So he comes back, he checks. Nothing really to see. Let's go to half speed just for a second. He goes back to check again, but he's also alone, by the way. I just realized. It's a 1 versus 5, so I don't really know what we could expect. Pretty nice, you know, that's a really shallow peek, right? Like, he is as little into this fight as he could be, but still able to get the kill. I like that. I think that's a good sign. He ends up dying here. Either way, he's locked in the bomb site in a 1 versus 5. Like, they are going to be coming for him, so probably not that exciting. Probably nothing really to say about that. Crashes keep on coming. They pause. I think this is where they pause. No, all right. Here we go. So he's just down here again. Let's see if we can sort of roughly guess where this is going to be. Oh, that's actually where... All right, never mind. So, yeah, that's where the demo crashes. Let's just go and play the next one then. I don't know if there's going to you know, screw me over, but hopefully not. This is the joy of, you know, when they change the server, you have to start a new demo. Shout out to HLTV for actually, you know, uploading these demos and having, you know, a couple of these. It's pretty nice to have the opportunity. I think I checked right at the start of this one. I kind of realized that, again, there is a lot of time here where they're just waiting around. So let me just see if I can kind of get past that. That one also isn't live just yet. Let's see. Do we not have the timeline down here? Hold on. Let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, so we don't have the queues anymore? Could that really be true? Oh, no. Hold the phone. I'm going to try and do end playback, and then I will try and do this again. I'm pretty sure that it's still supposed to have all the markings down below, so, you know, bear with me for a second. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. So, let's see. And then we have got... all right. All right. Here we go. We're back into it. We're back in the mix, guys. So all of these are all just deaths from the reset. You can kind of tell. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're getting into this one. Yeah, so I did check the start of it because I wanted to make sure that both the demos actually work. So I don't know much about what's happening in the game. I just wanted to make sure that the demos weren't, you know, messed up beyond recognition. So we are back to learn. Let's see what Jacob can bring us here. So far, I would say most of the deaths have been pretty pedestrian. Nothing really too exciting, I suppose, to talk about. But also nothing terrible, I would say. Alright, not quite yet. Let's see. We're getting close to him getting a kill. So just wanted to see how that kind of happens. Just holding this, holding this. He's got so many teammates on the other side. They've basically taken care of everything. I mean... that's a 1 versus 5 for Enlele, so I probably... It's fine. It's fine play. He doesn't do anything crazy. He doesn't try to, like, solve the whole problem himself. I suppose that's good news, but also not a kill that I think we're going to give him, like, a ton of credit for, to be honest. Let's see. I don't know if you guys watch demos the same way. Who screwed up that smoke? Was that Jacob himself? No, he's throwing something else. Smoke? What is happening? Yeah, so he screwed up the smoke. I don't even know how that happens, but that's obviously not supposed to be in that position. And that does kind of expose him potentially to some bad stuff, so... Let's see. He's jiggling, you know, super standard stuff. They are walking in right next to him, right? So let's see how he reacts. His teammate's now shooting. They know that something is up. He peeks. There's nobody there. Peeks around the corner, eats, I think, a friendly flashbang, and then dies to, like, the whole team being around him. So, how much of this is Jacob's fault, right? Here's a good, you know, moment of pause. He's holding Monster. Somebody else is supposed to be holding the other side of the pillar for him. And there's some huge, I think it's Rain at this moment. Yeah, so Rain is there, but he's got another teammate even with him. Karrigan, I think, is also there. So there's some fundamental breakdown in the communication. That means that suddenly Jacob is the one who's sort of essentially ends up doing more than he's supposed to be doing in that moment. And again, the timing on the peak when he actually does look for the short side is just super unfortunate. So there are a couple of things there. I don't want to make too many excuses, but I really think this is one of those moments where, you know, maybe it's just a little bit... Maybe you could say he's too passive, but at the same time, he's playing on the CT side. Like, that's what they're supposed to do, you know? So... I don't know if I'm going to be too critical. Anyway, we're moving forward. Into the next round we go. Let's see if we can get on to the next here. He peeks in. We're pretty close to a kill. You can see there's going to be a couple of them in this round. I don't know if I love the fact that he's not peeking the full angle. I kind of sort of wonder if Rain died here because... When Jacob does that really shallow peek into the tunnel, he has no idea, like, he can't call out that nobody's there. He just knows that there's nobody all the way through, but... So maybe a bit unfortunate, but he gets the kill on the follow-up, I suppose, so that's pretty good. And then he's sort of back in, checking. Whoop, definitely spots that. Pretty nice. Let's just, I just want to make sure of one thing. Hold on, let's see. when he comes back. There's just one thing I'm curious about. There's something that I think is worth checking for. So we're at a quarter speed now. All right, he comes back. You can see the guy. That on normal speed, that happens way quick. I would have never seen this. But yeah, look at how he leads the peak, sort of looking into the wall again. Like, that's pretty good crosshair placement, right? And it happens because he's pre-aiming it into the wall, essentially, which is super common. But, you know, it's nice to see. It's a good sign. We're here to judge whether or not, you know, how much of this is Jacob's fault. Just to say, his rating for this game overall, for this best of 3, was atrocious, right? So a lot of people, the community, were on him. There's a million HLTV threads of people saying, kick this guy already. This is a big mistake. I want to find out for myself. So far, I don't think this has been really egregious. I would say maybe you could charge him with being fairly passive. Okay, I say that. He does walk out here. Gets the call that there's someone coming in on this side. Fight happening. Yeah, he doesn't even get anything to do this round. But yeah, apart from this round, he's been fairly passive inside of the bomb site. That could just be like his role right now. Like, maybe it's hard for us to know. But if I was going to make a criticism in that sense, I would say, yeah, this is a lot of jiggle around this one pillar, you know, for a lot of the time, where he's not helping out his team in any meaningful way. Rain gets wallbanged somehow. That's always good. He's pretty much alone at the site. There's the grenade. And again, I just said it. It's a little bit predictable maybe when you are just behind the pillar. Like, that's your one roll here. So that kind of sucks. Oh, another grenade. Yeah, so they know. Sick from Ecstatic, actually. They kind of read that super well. So that's kind of incredible, to be honest. Anyway, round goes on. That's the end of the half. We're into the next one. Let's see. They're on the other side now. Jacob is number 8. Okay, well, let's see. We're going to spend a little bit of time here, and then we're going to go into a pistol round. Of course, we could look at more things than just kills and fights, right? Like, that's not the only thing that makes for a good player, so maybe it's a bit unfair that I'm doing this, but I just kind of... Otherwise, this video will really be hours long, right? So I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to sort of fast forward some of this stuff a little bit, and yeah, just get a bit of a taste. All right, they pretty much planted the bomb already. When are we going to get to this kill? Oh, there's only one player left, so... Oh, he does get a double, though. That's... And the third one. My god, that's almost a 1 versus 4 for a Danish friend on the other side. But still a 1 versus 5 even, I think. Yeah, Karrigan is still alive. So yeah, almost a 1 versus 5 with the dualies, but... He was already low. Pretty good. Like, he didn't overcommit to anything crazy. Again, we probably can't praise him too much for something like this. Let's see. He's gonna die in this round somewhere. So far, just kind of, you know, holding playground for a long time. That's totally fine. We get down here. They have he has utility. Presumably the rest of the team do as well. There is a player up there. There's no utility thrown. This is just pure contact, right? This is part of the plan, is just to walk in here. They turn the corner. No one's checking the barrels. And he dies. But this was a call made by Karrigan, right? They decide we're going to walk through the monster tunnel with nothing thrown. No Molotovs. This is the most common position of Molotov on the whole bomb site. So normally you would see that. Should somebody be holding it? I think you could make that case. I don't know if that's Jacob's job, but if it was, then certainly that would be his mess up in there. His screw up in that moment, right? Because someone is supposed to be holding that. Or Molotoving it. But if no one's Molotoving it, somebody has to kind of look for that. Here we go. Deep into the site. Bomb planted. Pretty good stuff. We love everything about it. Still a lot of people on the other side with just pistols, though. Kind of boring. I don't care so much about pistol kills, but a little bit out in the open here. I don't love it. I don't think this is a risk that he takes unless he knows they got pistols. Otherwise, I think he's going to stick his position. But fine. Again, it's not a big deal. Nicely played, I suppose. Let's see. Where are we at here? We could click the timeline, but I just have PTSD from clicking the timeline and the, you know, the demo viewer crashing. So I just use the 8x speed sometimes if I'm bored, if I'm a little bit, you know, lazy. All right, where are we going? We're down towards this side. Oh, they're being flanked. Hold on, I missed everything. So they are being flanked. There's how many people? 3 people here from FaZe, and nobody is sort of looking behind, right? Is this Jacob's fault? I don't know. Somebody could have. He is one of those somebodies. Brokey dies first, then Jacob next. Whoever was supposed to be doing that, you know, probably screwed up a little bit. Well, you got 3 people. I don't think everyone has to be watching that, you know, the door itself. But again, kind of hard to lay that directly at the feet of Jacob, to be honest. I feel like probably stretching it too much. This round, Glocks, don't care. I'm just going to speed through this one because this is, you know, like... So we're on to the next one now that he's got an AK. They are attacking the same bomb site again. This time he's got no utility. I don't know if his teammate does. If he does, he's not throwing it. Ooh. So they kind of peek on top of each other. Definitely some awkward spacing. That's the kind of stuff where you would want to see, you know, the front guy crouch or swing wider, or just standing on top of each other probably doesn't do anything. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, we could probably try and blame him for that if we wanted to. But again, also a bit weird that they're not throwing any grenades at that particular position, so I don't love that. Let's see, we're back. Speeding our way through. This time, again, Glocks. And what are we seeing? Just, again, probably not that exciting. You know, you die with a Glock. We're at 10-11, or sorry, 10-9 here, so... Still with the lead phase. Oh, he's gonna get no more kills for the rest of it. So just he just doesn't, essentially doesn't get any kills for the rest of it. That in itself is probably a fair, like whatever else is going on, you should probably say, you know, some criticism is warranted. I still think, look, he's being fairly passive, right? He helps with the run boost, but there's a lot of time here where, you know, other players would have definitely tried, I think, to get more information, you know, do a little bit of something. Here we go, checking it out. Like, he's very passive. He's going to go back down to follow the rest of the team. And we're coming up on the death. Okay. Moving around a lot. Okay. Oh, the timing. He's just moved forward. I think that first bullet looked like it was supposed to connect with something like a headshot. I don't know. He had the right idea. He just, I think, moved at the wrong time. I don't know. That's unfortunate, but probably not something that I would consider, you know, too much of a, you know, indictment on him, so to speak. Here we got Tech 9s. Or a Tech 9. You can only have one. Taking the fight. A lot of movement. Kind of, as you're, I guess, supposed to do with the Tech 9, to be honest. Dies. I don't know. Not the most crucial round, in my opinion. Bomb planted. Ecstatic. Go for the defuse. And they get it, so they're pretty close now. Back with Jacob. Let's see what's going on. Again, he's getting no more kills, so we're just analyzing deaths at this point. Sorry, Jacob. Didn't mean to. Getting close now. Walks in. Again, that same position is not... He has a Molotov, right? Ooh. Oh, the whole thing is awkward. Like, every time he shoots, he moves in this particular instance. Like, I think he's been pretty solid not doing that. But I would say now, FaZe have to Molotov that. And in this case, Jacob probably could have, even though... we can go back. We have a little bit of time. Okay, let's just try and see here. Oh, somebody did do it earlier, apparently. Let's just see how much time is there. So we got Jacob throwing the flashbang. He's the third guy in. Yeah, I think Molotoving that position is the way forward. I'm going to blame him for this one. I think that's acceptable. We're here to provide a little bit of criticism too. So that's, I think, fair enough. Fair enough for this case. They are getting pushed out long at the moment. Nobody's really noticed. Now they have. Frozen gets one. By the way, it's 12-10, so we can probably infer that, you know, FaZe are going to be losing this round ultimately. Oh, but they're getting a couple of great opening kills, so... Molotov going over. Oh, none of them see that. Okay, hold on. Let's just redo this one just to be sure that we are seeing everything. So Molotov coming over. We're at a quarter speed. Jumping up. The model is right behind his teammate, so it's just super hard to see. It's easy in a quarter speed, right? But normal speed is going to be different, so they just get lined up and killed. Honestly, kind of unfortunate too. God damn. I I mean, fair play. It is only one map that we're looking at, right? So I don't want to get too carried away, but I think a lot of these deaths here for Jacob in this game just weren't necessarily on him, to be honest. Like, I will admit that I am biased because I really like his playstyle, and I think he can do a lot more. I think just going off of this one map, I would say, yes, he probably was a bit too passive. Hard to know how much of that was being told to him from Karrigan and the rest of the team. Like, you're new in the role, just kind of fit in, don't do anything crazy, don't try and do anything crazy, just play bog standard counterstrike. Like, don't try and be wild with it. But also, I think that became too predictable. I think they needed to use better utility when attacking the B-bomb site, and some rounds that definitely could have been him doing that, so that's unfortunate. That kind of sucks to see, in my opinion. But apart from that, honestly, a lot of these deaths are just, like, some of the missed timings when he's jiggling the pillar down at the B-bomb site it happens. Sucks when it's one of your first games with the team. You want to be, kind of a superstar, obviously. You want a great start, but it kind of happens, I think. And then in the second half, there were a lot of Glock rounds, or the Tech 9 round, or whatever, where he doesn't have that much to work with. There was another round where they got shot in the back, right? They got flanked in the connector, leading, when Ecstatic were pushing out. So just, I don't know, like, maybe the other games had more devastating, fuck-ups from Jacob than this, but honestly, from what I've seen here, like, there weren't that many. Like, I think, the worst cases for me probably was a little bit of a lack of initiative in certain situations, and what I would say is a complete failure to clear that barrel's position down at B from him and the team, but especially, there's definitely one round where that's probably squarely on him. So, overall, I think the hysteria needs to calm down. Give Jacob another chance is what I'm saying. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, then, give the channel a follow and a like and everything. Leave some comments down below. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers.